Well, it's that time of year again, that wonderful holiday when things are on sale and children are running to stores to buy toys. Wait a minute. Children. Mostly adults specifically because they re-released the X-Men 97 Rogue, and they recently released this gal, the X-Factor Jean Grey. Now, personally, am I a fan of both costumes? Absolutely. Both characters, certainly. Certainly the X-Men 97 Rogue, because I got her for $18.74 for sale on Target. How? Well, let's talk about this. Let's talk about Target exclusive. We're going to talk about all of that today. I'm Dan Umpton, and this is the Doomcast. The Target exclusive. The bane of the existence of the Marvel Legends collector. We all know the pain that comes with finding out that a figure's release, or re-release in this case, is going to coincide with being strictly at Target. Now, I don't have any feelings on Target really one way or the other outside of the fact that I've had a number of pre-orders canceled. It's always hard to pre-order. They disappear very quickly because it seems like for some reason all of the important pre-orders get pre-ordered out of the way entirely by bots, and that sucks. The re-release just happened to coincide with a 25% off sale of toys. This is honestly peak Marvel Legends. Now, do I already have a 90s display of X-Men? Absolutely. This is probably going to go in my future Marvel vs. Capcom 2 collection. Specifically in the shelf that's going to have Blackheart, Shuma Gorath, all of the Jada Toys, Street Fighter figures, and whatever else I can find that will fit the rest of Capcom stuff. But in this case, this figure is, I just have a pretty positive appraisal of it in general. Face sculpt is pretty perfect, in line with the show. I love the fact that it comes with this, the hand holding the other glove. It also comes with the necessary glove accessories for her to have two punchy hands so that you can, sorry, wrong one's getting ahead of myself. Bigger fists than Jean in the other figure. We're going to talk about that. I'd say the pros are definitely, it looks like the hair is, it's not painted, it's double sculpted. The headband looks real nice. It's black, like in the show. The costume is pretty pitch perfect. Most of the paint apps are really nice. I like the fact that I can put her on a good little ProTech stand like this. Pretty poseable. The only thing that's missing is the waist joint from the new, I think they debuted him with a Warbird figure from Target anyway. Waist doesn't move as much as I'd like. She's just jointed at the top up there. Otherwise, if you could move the waist, you could do a pretty perfect Marvel vs. Capcom or X-Men vs. Street Fighter or Rogue hyper combo finish. But I don't think you can pull that off with this figure. Just the same, things you can do are, frankly, kind of sweet, because if you can track down a good shield, especially, one of those, the broken ones, you can do that. And that comes, of course, with your Captain America, who you can just put in a very, very angry pose of absolute consternation. Not that he can do anything about it, because it's, he's a tough guy, but he's not that tough. Let's go through the pros. Decent paint apps, sculpted jacket, accurate costume, looks good overall if you can find it for a price. Cons, Target exclusive, not that many accessories, probably should have come with a shield. That would have been a great touch. but probably would have given away sections of the season, so I can understand why they didn't include it. Other than that, I don't have a whole lot negative to say about this figure. It is pretty good. The only thing that's frustrating is it being a Target exclusive and the price. Now, I do have more complex opinions about the X Factor Jean Grey. This is not the worst figure. The sculpt, a little bit better. You've got that, this is what I'm talking about, that waist joint here that gives you just a little bit more, a woman do more acrobatic-esque, matrixy poses. Or, okay, pause. In any case, any articulation in addition to a regular figure is pretty well warranted. The cons of this, in comics her boots are yellow. I think people have already talked about that plenty. But also, it's worth noting that this figure is to pair with the X Factor Cyclops that came out a little while ago, which is great. It's honestly, I reviewed it a while ago. It's a good figure. Butterfly joints that honestly are kind of nice, especially for very specific looking poses that you can do now with this effect. Jean comes with her own telekinesis psychic effect. This is incredibly difficult to pose like that. I do love this Cyclops optic blast. Little telekinesis effect on the top of her forehead that just fits inside of her hair. Dang it if that doesn't just look really good. And it's probably one of the best face sculpts and paint apps in the series. So, pros here. Articulation, the effect accessory, second head, fantastic. Cons, again, Target exclusive. You know, there's nothing that can be done about it. It is what it is. Lack of the yellow boots. Also, honestly, the plastic on some of these new ones, this one specifically, is just noticeably gummier, like very tail end DC Multiverse, Universe Classics, whatever that line was before it went defunct, where the plastic got real gummy for some reason. That's getting close to that consistency. I don't know what they're cutting it with, but I also understand stuff ain't cheap. I also understand stuff ain't cheap. So, is what it is. So, at that point, I have to ask, if you're faced with a choice for either one of these figures, and you had to choose between them, here's my question. Are you a bigger 90s X Factor fan, or are you a bigger X-Men 97 fan? I feel like the Rogue is kind of the obvious choice. Obviously, it doesn't come with a shield. I think the Rogue is the obvious choice if you're pitting the two between each other. But if you can manage to find both, I'd add both. If you're an X-Men fan, it seems like an absolute slam dunk. Why wouldn't you get both? I understand definitely cost-wise the fact that this figure has cost, I've seen up to $80, $90 in the past. Now it's back down to around middle 40s. Sure, okay. But you know, if you know a guy who knows a guy, maybe they'll sell you one for cheap, maybe even close to retail, a reasonable price. If you can find them for retail though, they're in Target right now. Good luck, Godspeed. I feel like as long as they keep making Legends of this quality, I'm going to keep picking them up. Anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. This has been the Doomcast.